Meredith, and this is Jack, and we're right outside Yoga Pod here in Boulder, Colorado. Jack, you just finished up an awesome class this morning. Tell us about how long you've been practicing yoga and what keeps you coming back to your mat.
I've been practicing for about 3 years now, and what keeps me coming back? There's just always more to learn, you know? I get really, really excited about just getting the opportunity on a day-by-day basis. You know, I wake up this morning, I woke up and I felt horrible. And it used to be that when I would wake up and I would feel horrible, I had nothing that I could do about it. It would be like, oh, great, you know, here we go. I'm feeling horrible today. Today I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I'm going to Livia's class, and the first 5 minutes will be horrible, and then I'll feel great. And I'll have the opportunity to, you know, to work it out. I don't know. It's something that that's been just a really empowering thing for me. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Jack, you have a pretty advanced practice. So a lot of times when people are in the room with you, they might say, oh, my body will never do that. Or, wow, you're used as a demo sometimes. So for the people who might have some of those experiences, like, whoa, that's out of my reach, can you talk a little bit about your journey into some of the higher level asanas and where you started and how you've gotten to where you are in your practice?
Sure. Well, first of all, I came to yoga out of desperation and feeling pretty crippled, actually. I was living in Vermont. I had had some back injuries and some knee injuries, and they told me that I should have knee surgery and I should have back surgery. And I got the knee surgery first because there's a higher sort of, you know, people were more confident about knee surgery, and it didn't go well at all. It actually went horribly. There were a bunch of things went wrong. I was in worse pain than I had been before the surgery and everything, and I wasn't willing to go in for anything else. I was afraid, I was upset, and I went to a bunch of physical therapists, nothing helped. So finally, I stumbled into this yoga studio. It was the only studio in town, this tiny little Vermont town, and it was a certified Ashtanga teacher who was extremely hardcore, and the easiest thing she taught was full primary. And so I went in there, but she was the first person who said to me, without any qualifications, she could just listen to me and look at me and say, this can help you. And so I just dove headfirst into it. I showed up every day. I did everything that she told me to do. I had to have faith in something. And the first class, I couldn't do anything. Like, I just kind of, you know, I watched, I tried little things. She gave me a lot of attention, but I just kept coming back. And I guess what I would say in terms of advancing practice and moving into some of these postures is that in my experience, it can happen for pretty much, you know, I think that, you know, there are obviously going to be physical and structural limitations with everyone, but I think that a lot of people are capable of a lot more than they think they are. That's really what it comes down to. And it really has to do, for me, it had to do with relaxing a little bit more. I used to practice every day, like I said, and I made a lot of progress. I needed that. I needed that structure. I needed that discipline. But as I moved forward, I found that sometimes I needed to practice less, and sometimes I needed to come to class and really pay attention, but pay attention in a completely different way than I was used to. So that's kind of if I were giving advice or anything like that, it would be kind of just like, you know, chill out and play. Just play. And the more you play, the more things will happen.
I love that. One of the things that I've heard from one of my teachers a lot is that as he goes into the really tough poses, instead of thinking the end result of the pose, he's actually just looking for the window of opening where the breath and the opening in the body meet without the goal of the end goal of being the actual form of the asana.
Absolutely. I agree with that completely. One of the things, you know, like, I think a perfect example of that is, you know, a press handstand. People see the size of my shoulders and go, that's why he can do that. And I don't think that that's true at all. I think that it's entirely because I'm not worried about it as much. I'm thinking, oh, tail end of my exhale, I just feel this rise and it feels like a wave. Yeah. You know, we were talking about this earlier. It feels like a wave that you just spiral up. And if I don't go up or if I go right over the top, that's okay. Oh, wow. That's fine. You know, it's that feeling that lifts you. Yeah.
I like that. And so do you feel that YogaPod serves you as a practitioner that has a higher level of practice?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's number one, the greatest thing for me is with 3 rooms and with this commitment that Jerry and Nicole have to having a whole variety of different classes, I'm really one of the things that really works really well about it for me is that no matter how crazy my schedule is, no matter what I have to do for my job, and trying to really work on my relationships and things like that, when I have some time to squeeze in, or when I carve out time for myself, there's always going to be something here. So that helps me a lot with that consistency. And there are some fabulous teachers here. And there's also this laid-back atmosphere here where I feel as though I'm free when I want to up-level, when I'm really feeling something. Many of the teachers here are just, and the students as well, leave me feeling free to do that. Not as though I'm being judged, or as though I shouldn't be doing that, or as though I'm bothering other people. If I can just be humble and work on my practice, everyone here feels really cool with that, and that's important to me.
And what would you say are some of the earmarks of this community?
Well, I mean, here I am, I come out of the classroom and Jerry's like, hey, we're doing interviews outside. And I always hang out in the room out front, just because there's always a group there. There are people on the couches and everything. It's not like get your shoes and go. I really find I'm always the person who's like the last person out of the room, because I'm just hanging out in there doing whatever. But I just find that people hang around here. It doesn't feel as though we're here to do something and then we go back to our lives and it's completely separate. And I don't know, that's important to me, because I would really like to have more and more in my life and in my community have things mesh together. I think that's very, very important. And I see people here trying to do that.
I like that real sense of community. So before we go today, I'd love you to share just a little bit with our viewers, some inspiration to help them get on the mat today.
Inspiration to help you get on the mat today. You'll feel better afterwards. And it really takes, I guess the number one thing that I could say is, when you make that choice, every time you make that choice, it gets easier. And once you build that as a habit, once you build it as something that is part of your structure, and the Yoga Pod really has allowed me to do this once again, because there's always something here. I know that I can come and be a part of something. Once I build that in, there's no more struggling at all. And it becomes, Patabi Joyce said, practice and all is coming. Yeah. You can really fall into that when you have that routine. So it's only, if it feels hard, it's only hard at first. And then it becomes hard to do things that maybe you don't want to do. And that sounds good to me. Yeah.
Thank you so much. What I really hear you saying is that consistency through time equals results. And those results can be being a part of a community. Those results can be found on your mat, or anything that you create for yourself in your life that you'd like. Sound good?
Sure.
Awesome. Well, Jack, thank you so much. My name is Meredith, and we're here at the Yoga Pod in Boulder, Colorado. We'd love for you to join us. If you'd like to find out more information, you can visit us on the web at theyogapod.com.